Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. As Dr. Rashid keeps emphasizing on knowledge, it reminds me of Al-Khawarizmi, who said once, if you have a lot of money, you have to take care of it. If you have knowledge, it will take care of you. So here today, I'd like to shed some light, some of the knowledge that I already gained over the years to help on this subject that we have in hand, which is securing another way, another source of water to what we have here in the GCC and possibly some other parts of the world. So what I will do is basically when I talk about the problems, like you said, engineers, find the problems, what do we need to do, and go after the solution and try to find the solution. I'm an engineer, so I'm stuck with that dilemma that I have. We'll start with some bad news in the beginning, basically water availability. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen some of those charts. Everybody talks about water stress and availability by 2040. And as we see, some of our areas here in the GCC and some other parts of the world, they'll be stressed by 2040. And some of the countries already reached that level right now. You don't even have to wait until 2040 to find out that there's shortage of water. In addition to water availability, there is also the discussion about water security. And I know for sure water security is extremely important in this part of the world. And a lot of ministers in UAE have talked about it, and I'll show you some of the examples of that. And the reason for water security is, and we're talking about potable water, not just the water that we drink from a bottle, but also the water that we drink that's mixed with milk, mixed with Coca-Cola or Pepsi, so we don't have to make Coke and Pepsi equal in this case, or some other things like juices and other bottling operations. That's all considered bottled water. And what we're talking about, that affects all that. At the same time, there are a lot of issues that also affect water security: pollution, chemicals, bromides in water, water content. I know you go to some countries, without naming the countries, and they say when it rains, the water is great, but the minute it hits the ground, you cannot really drink that water. That's really prevalent in many parts of the world. Global challenges, and that's what I'll talk about that first, and then I'll go into the UAE challenges, which is the local challenges. The global challenges, everybody heard about South Africa, Cape May last year. That problem kind of went away, but it did not go away. It's gonna come back in 2019. But they found a fix around way by taking care of water supply, irrigation, and also the reduce the use of water in that country. So that helped them a bit, but that's in the short term. We're not just talking about water in Africa or in GCC country or in MENA region, but we're talking about shortages sometimes in countries like Madrid. I was in Madrid a couple years ago, and you cannot wash your car every other day. And at the same time, you cannot water your trees every other day. So the water issues are not just local, but it's almost global. A small example here, global challenges. We were talking about distribution and water distribution. That's something that we're not really much aware of, but there's a lot of contamination that takes place in pipes. And Kentucky, which is one of the states in the United States, they had a problem that water smelled in the pipes, and you can see the picture. So the water challenge is actually contamination in the pipe itself, as you see. And so trying to minimize the piping distribution, it could be one of the goals that we need to go forward when we're developing a solution for water contamination. Local challenges. This article was in Gulf News in early 2018. Also, that was from the Minister for Food Security in the UAE. And what she said, and this is very important to read, water security is the biggest challenge in the UAE. I know all the UAE top government officials, they're all aware of this issue. Trying to find solutions could be easy and could be very difficult. So how does this picture looks today? I just want to give you an idea of the water picture as is in the UAE. when we talk about water, potable water, daily consumption is 20 million liters. 80% of that water is made locally through desalination and RO technologies, and 20% of that water is actually imported into UAE from Europe or some other countries in the world. That's also all that bottled up. Now, but desalination is not the best solution in the world, but that's the best solution that we have right now, and it's actually a pretty good solution that's working for us so far. But it has some issues. Some are minor, some may not be as minor, like some of the water that gets filtered goes back to the sea, which is higher salt content. Also, there are 60 bottlers that in the UAE that take bottles from the municipalities like Siwa and Diwa and other places like that, and they put another filtration on it through RO, and that gets bottled, and that's what we drink here at the same time.